this is binary space. You all may have been wondering where I've been, and I can tell you in one word, busy. Too much to tell and you probably don't care. I also haven't been making progress in a way that is entertaining or even recordable, like fiddling around with programming a 1.8-inch TFT LCD display. More on that later. But I'm here, so now on to this several weeks project. You've been seeing the prototype that I made for the heads-up display. There are a few things that I want to tweak, namely the distance of the display from my eyes. It's a bit small when you see it, and I want it to be larger and much easier to read at a glance, and also easier to focus on. So next video will have some redesigning of that. So much behind the scenes work went on. First off, I worked on hooking up the display to the Orange Pi. I've researched this for about a year, and this is no exaggeration. But recently, I had an idea, and sure enough, I got a library that somebody wrote for this display. I downloaded it and installed it, and sure enough, it didn't work. The reason is that I used a library that was for another single board computer. I found this out later. Once I got the right library, then I ran the included test program, and it worked! It was fantastic, I was so excited. So it was time to go from a test program to the actual HUD I'm just kidding. I first tried to make a simple example to write a bitmap display to the screen, but I ran into a huge problem which turned into 4 huge problems. First problem, drawing a bitmap. So basically, I want to be able to take a full color bitmap image and display it to the screen. Simple enough. But it was more complicated than I thought, because the display is RGB 565 for starters, so the usual 255, 255, 255 color space needs to be restricted quite a bit. But once I got some example code, and then edited to find the start of the image and so on, it was good to go. The second problem, the refresh rate. So I got the code working, and then excitedly ran it, and lo and behold, this. It has a frame per second rate of 0.1 frames per second. Or in other words, it takes 10 to 12 seconds for a single frame to display. Still going, yeah. Not gonna happen. So more troubleshooting began, this time with the help of my dad, and a few days later, I realized that the SPI bus could not hold more than I was giving it, could hold more than I was giving it, and we went from 1/10 of a frame per second to 60 frames per second. Not bad. 60 frames per second is plenty to have responsive and snappy graphics. The third problem, the color. The previous program was working. I noticed a lot of issues with the color that was produced. My dad took it a while to mess with it for fun, and figured out that it actually wasn't a 565 display, as was advertised, but a 664 display. And to get the colors to look right, it is a 444 display. So basically, red, green, and blue have 16 colors for each channel. 16 shades of red, 16 shades of blue, and 16 shades of green. No wonder this display was $4. However, it works, and it's not like I'm trying to go for an IMAX theater in the helmet or anything, so it's good enough. But nothing special. And speaking of that, the fourth problem, the resolution. A canvas of 128 pixels wide and 160 pixels high is a really small workspace for any graphics. I can't fix the color problem or the resolution without actually buying a new display. That, software doesn't work for that. And for now, this display is cheap and its limitations are fine. However, in the future, I am considering using a 2.2-inch display that has 240 pixels in width and 320 pixels in height. I'm pretty sure that its colors will also be much better, so down the road, that's the plan. But for now, I'm going to begin the real program to make this display work. Next is the audio. I've been working on hooking up the USB headset to the Orange Pi, but the problem is that it doesn't work from the get-go. Basically, Linux sucks in this department, and the order of the sound cards is being problematic. In small success, I was able to confirm that the audio card works, and I was able to play a WAV file, and was incredibly excited and relieved that at least something worked. Next, I'll need to change the USB sound card to the default sound card, but haven't figured out how to do that yet. Hopefully I will have by next video. Speaking of next video, I'm planning to go back to a regular schedule. This summer was crazy, but it gave me a chance to get some other things done, and I'm working on the production quality of these updates. I've gotten some tips for editing the videos, and have set up camera mounts and more, all to capture the design and the actual assembly, instead of just a small GoPro tripod. I don't want to just upload raw 3D modeling videos anymore. I think everyone can agree that those sucked. I'd rather just not share the process at all, if that was the case. So look forward to that, and the next video should slowly have the software further along, as well as the helmet hardware complete. We'll see what happens. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Binary Space.